From Victor Haight, it says, I posted this question on Reddit, so I ask you guys. If you were Emu, with all those powers, how would you use them and that power to improve the world? Also, said, bring back the glasses. We miss them. I can bring them back. I thought I'd wear them today, actually. I just didn't.
No, I'm joking.
I feel like we still don't have a full scope on what his powers look like. You know what I mean?
I wouldn't say I would do the same thing as what Emu is doing, but I do it less cruelly. I've said before that the Ancient Kingdom, there's probably going to be a gray line where the Alliance might have not been the bad guys.
I'm not Lelouchian anybody.
Exactly.
I'm just not doing that.
Exactly, yeah.
I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
That's too much.
That's way too much, yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't do that. And honestly, not that he's like gonna change everything, but I would work with Vegapunk more. Not saying that Emu has a power source to fuel all of Vegapunk's inventions. The power that he's using or that he has, I feel like could benefit Vegapunk a little more. I don't think Emu's putting any effort to do that. Vegapunk, at the very least, is trying to better mankind or further mankind with his technology and feeding them. He made food vending machines. So I would further that to improve the world in that way.
I think Emu's whole idea too is like the more resource someone has, the bigger the chances of them doing something more cruel. Like sometimes you want to oppress people or suppress them just because there's less to worry about from that specific kingdom or like country. When you give people so much access, they're able to do so much more harm than good. And people naturally are not good, but they're also not completely evil. How much are you willing to take a chance that this country won't learn how to use the internet and then hack everybody else and then do something where it takes you out and then takes everybody else out and then they become the new world power and then all of a sudden the world has changed once again? It's more of like a philosophical question than it is more than anything. Because O'Hara was researching this ancient knowledge, it would provide them the ability to not only search for Pluton, but maybe to find out where the other ancient weapons are, which would cause devastation amongst the world, because now we know probably one of the ancient weapons will sink the entire world, which would leave everybody without a home. What do you do with that capability of suppression? Is it a good thing? Is it a bad thing? How much is it like affecting people's freedoms? Is it completely wrong to like suppress a person's freedom at that point because of what was built? Is it wrong to build it? All these questions start coming up. The only thing I know is like power corrupts people over time. If you're in power that long, there's going to be some things that you're just so used to seeing that you just don't want to give up as well. It's a lot to think about, to be honest. That's why I said like I don't know if I'd be as cruel, but I also haven't been in a hierarchy position as him to live 800 years.
Yeah, like I can't say that I wouldn't empower, say I was to have the ability to give y'all superpowers in the way that Emu seems to be able to give his Gorosei members. I'm probably still doing that. Am I like overseeing a world government to a degree where mass genociding because people are like I'm not getting to that point. I don't think even power would ever get me to that point.
Yeah.
And then, it's going to sound crazy, I feel like I'm possibly more selfish than Emu is. Because if there is a way to phrase this as for how the history went down and it's controlled chaos, the world needs to be protected from itself. I don't know that I'm ever getting to that point either. Let them read. And if something happens, like that's the world that they just living in. If it turns into this or people start using ancient weapons, I'll be a deterrent for that, but I'm not going to be at the top of the world. I'll make sure me and the people I care about are good and safe and strong, but am I running a world government? Like I'm just not putting in that kind of work, which is, I want to say selfishness. Like I'm not trying to paint Emu to be this like savior or anything. He's doing more than I probably would ever be trying to do to save the world. And again, that's a way of framing it. I don't know. I would definitely empower the people that I want or to be protected, but like I'm not looking for world power.
Think about it this way too, right? We have an ancient weapon, but it's a person. And that person happens to live under the water where they control most of the planet. And it's like, okay, what if that one person was born and happened to not have good intentions? How do I combat that? They are underwater. I'm severely, DNA-wise, just underwhelmed. They could immediately take out anything that they wish. Am I wrong for wanting that Poseidon not to be alive?
Yeah.
I know the evil of man. What's your morality, like, at the end of the day? Like, what's right? And it feels like nothing is right. So how do you go about life?
And that goes into, like, how do you gain and conquer? We talked about, like, Kaido. He wouldn't gain and conquer on his side because of how he does things. Usually, conquerors will rebel against that figure, against that temperament, as in, like, you know, he's like Morganga, and he's trying to beat people into submission. Emu's sort of like that. He has loyal ones, right? But he also granted them power. So we don't know exactly the dynamic of the Gorosei of, are they all conquerors, or is he giving them? We don't know. For someone who has the power, like you said, Poseidon, the best way about it is to approach them with good intentions as being a friend. And now if they're evil in themselves, then that's where you might have to take care of it. Showing that you're an ally, not an enemy. Because a lot of people, when they come to like to seize power, they come with a hostile thing, which creates more hostility. But if you come more of like this friend figure, go on their side or gain them on your side more as a friend, you will gain more allies that way than more enemies. But if you're already having this hostile attitude towards them, that's where I feel like Kaido does. It's like you either get down or lay down. Now you're going to get people who are going to be submitted to you, or people like are going to fight for their freedom, or fight to rebel, or like fight for their survival. In that aspect, I think that's how to go about it. First approach as a friend, genuinely, not to use them.
It's different though, because then you got people like Horty.
Yeah.
That don't care about anything. He just want to do racist things because that's what he is. He didn't need a reason to be the way he was. He just was that. That was his being. How do you deal with that as a person in a position of power? It goes back to the white lead disease. Lionel's mentioned the conspiracy that they might have had some involvement with it. That's a disease that could affect a lot of people throughout the world. And they contained it. And regardless of how they were treated, they were like, yo, we can't let this out into the world. So they started murking people when they tried to escape. Is that necessarily evil?
But wasn't there an element to it? It couldn't actually spread to other people? That was the one thing, that was the one caveat there. The world thought one thing and they didn't give them the accurate information about what it really was. That's the evil part of it.
Yeah, that's the evil part of it. But that's also like a suppression of don't go near the white lead.
Hey man,
but you know
it's hard to govern the world. Again, evil, he does evil things. Yo, it's hard to govern the world.
My thing is, what Emo's doing, the way he's going about it is, Emo in a way, like you said, his government is like a pirate organization. Because literally, Emo takes what he wants.
Yeah.
And he manipulates things to make it seem like he didn't do it or he didn't have a hand in it. The ancient history, like, Void's history, it all could have been in a selfish act where he wanted. He wanted something, it was something that was preventing him from having it, so he did something that's probably crazier than Lucia. Like, something worse, that he doesn't want people to know what he's done. Because then people will look at him differently. Granted, people don't really know that he's even alive or king of the world or the world government itself. If they find out what the world government done to get their position of power and what they attained, probably the whole world will go after them and try to take them out. Them probably hiding that fact is the reason why they're still in power today. And it's all about their selfishness. If they don't get what they want, they're going to murk you. Then when they get what they want. And you can't do nothing about it.
So what if I challenged your idea and said, yo, Emu's selfishness at that point was peace? He saw Joy Boy, and Joy Boy was connected to the Ancient Kingdom, which was also connected to these ancient weapons. There was a person like Crocodile back then that was like, yo, if I obtained one of these ancient weapons, I'm taking over. And Emo was like, yo, we gotta stop that version of Crocodile during that time from obtaining his ancient weapon. Because if he does, you're gonna throw the world into chaos. And then what happens? Somebody uses the ancient weapon wherever Ennis Lobby was, creates that big hole, and it's like, the water's rising now. Y'all see what happened?
And you always have to account for that, because like Avon said in The Wire, no Marlowe, no game. You have to account for people like Crocodile. They're going to exist in every era. There's going to be a dude like Crocodile that wants power.
A dude like Horty.
A dude like Horty is going to want power or do something. They're going to exist in every era. You got to be able to account for that and deal with it.
Put it this way. We've mentioned Luffy having a reckless behavior. He was selfish enough to go and save Ace. Meanwhile, he also let out all these other prisoners through his escape. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, sometimes if you think about it, if Joy Boy held that same perspective on life, then his ability to live freely also suppressed people or made them suffer unintentionally. Yo, Luffy and Joy Boy might be dangerous people in regards to somebody like Emu who wanted the control, but he also just wanted people to be in peace. I'm not saying Emu's actions are justified. In no way. Is Emu doing the best that a person probably could with the circumstances he was dealt with and then just got corrupted over time?
Maybe. We don't know.
Yo, we don't know. We don't know.
For somebody that's like, you gotta realize how corrupt he got. It could have been Odie's there. You're talking about peace, right?
Yeah.
Yet we see how you view humans. They're insects to you. And you're willing to have them as slaves.
He ain't never said that.
He never said that. He supports it. His people support it.
Listen.
He know if he wanted peace, that thought process would not be implemented in the One Piece world.
Listen, bro. Y'all my brothers. I heard Sebastian punch a teacher in the face.
All right.
Did I support it? No, I did not. Right?
Yo, you would have though. You would have though. In the moment.
In the moment. Emu in the moment was like, you call them insects. It's for the greater good.
But you know that. Like, you know that, right? But you know
like,
that.
yo,
but we see these actions with Lucia. Like, we see, like, he literally said, take that island out. because it was close. Like,
Hey,
what
man.
did that kingdom do to you? You want to take out every single person on that village, no problem. And you didn't feel no remorse, you didn't care. You act like it was nothing.
Listen, man, for all we knew, that milk mommy and what they were doing with milk was giving it to people that lactose intolerant.
Okay.
And it was just causing mass hysteria of stomach issues and IBS. I don't know, bro.
Yo,
IBS ain't no joke, bro.
It's not no joke. And you playing with my feelings and my
Playing with
body.
my emotions.
but even if you want to go on the fact that, like, all right, they wanted peace, but then you also got to take it for what we see in One Piece world. It clearly shows that, all right, this person's view or his version of justice is this. This person of whatever is this. Lifestyle is this. You have to go the same way with peace. This person's peace or his view of peace is this way. It has to be different from others. From what I could tell of Imu's peace, his peace is obviously him in power, and he controls what people are thinking. He controls what people are doing, what people are watching, what they're viewing, what they're reading, everything. That's my version of peace. That I have control of that. And if I deem that you are stepping out of that arrangement or my peace,
Yeah, ruining my peace, interfering with my peace.
if you don't also bend to my peace, I deal with you accordingly.
So let me ask you this. Are the best kings the kings that don't want to be kings?
No.
Like, necessarily, they don't want the position because of what comes with it.
Would you consider King Rico a good king?
Well, how he treated his people,
Hold on. Don't lead into the other side.
Alright, my fault.
But what I'm saying is, like, usually the person that doesn't want to be king needs to be king because they're not desiring that position because of certain things. I could make a strong case that, Emo, due to them neglecting being known as the king or sitting in the throne when reveries happen, it could be possible that that person didn't want to be king or queen or whatever. They don't want to be the leader of the world government, so they sit in hiding. They never wanted that position, probably. What if I was to say they were forced to because of what Vegapunk said? I wouldn't say either side was evil, but ideologies clashed. Once we get it figured out and know more of the history, we'll figure it out. But that was a dope conversation, so we'll just let it rock there, and then we'll get into the chapter. Hey, Nakama, what's going on? This is Larry from that One Piece Talk. If you wish to become an official member of our channel, please hit that subscribe button, hit the notification bell, so when we go live on Mondays at 6 p.m. Eastern Time, you'll be able to catch us. And listen, don't be late to the party, because we're always one fan question away from crashing out on each other. Much love, Nakama. Jana.